inkish.tv. We will cover the show live in our daily lunch break show from 11 to 1 Central Time. Interviews, demos, print sample TV, and more.
My name is Morten Reithoff and I'm the editor of Inkish. We look forward to see you, and in case we don't see you, just tune in to Inkish TV and see all the good stuff from Printing United.
This is Morten from Inkish TV, and we are at Printing United here in Dallas. And actually very proud of being here today because it's the first day of the show. It's the first day we're going to broadcast live, and we are so excited to be here with Canon. It's also the International Print Day today, so we have to celebrate that. Remember that, Tonya, right? So, Tonya, why have you decided to exhibit here at Printing United?
Okay, so for us with Canon, we feel it's really important to be a part of the community, be active and involved. As you know, we just came off a very successful Think Ahead conference last month. Again, we were able to share a lot about what our solutions and services are that we offer to our customers in the industry. And this is just a segue into the next opportunity. We look to find opportunities like this throughout the year, so we're super excited to be a part of Printing United. It is a new show, formerly SGIA, so it's very exciting for us to be able to be a part of it this year. I think we've got the second largest booth at the show floor, so hopefully can encourage many people to come down in Dallas and tour through our booth. We've got a lot to show here today. When you walk through later in the day, I believe, you're going to have an opportunity to see you'll see commentary around Smart Change Starts Here. That's really our theme in the booth. And really what that's all about is, yes, Canon has a wide portfolio of solutions to showcase. You're going to see our wide format equipment, our Arizona flatbed. You're going to see our Colorado, which is a roll-fed large format device. We have a lot of finishing partners in here creating these unique finished applications. We have our ImagePress C10000, so please make sure you stop by there and see all the unique capabilities the digital toner device is able to offer our customers. And of course, in the back, we have an area set up to showcase all of our diverse production print inkjet solutions as well, from sheet fed to continuous feed, and the workflow that it takes to do that. And again, woven throughout the booth, you'll also notice there's a lot of partners, because we have these great solutions, but without the partners involved, you really can't enable the customers to do what they need to do for their clients. So it's really important that we showcase that true end-to-end story, and that's really what the Smart Change Starts Here is about. It's showcasing that, yes, we have the technology, but we also partner with best-in-class partners, and we have the workflow, the finishing, the people.
Oh, that was long.
Yes.
Have you rehearsed?
No, actually.
Fantastic.
I don't know why.
Okay, because it's so funny, because you said that you are so organized that everything needs to be more or less like on the time.
You know, you like to be planned and ready to go.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be broadcasting here from your booth all day, from now to 1 p.m.
Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to be able to share this with a wider audience, because, of course, not everybody can make Printing United, so it's a great way to be able to share a little bit about what's happening here and what is possible.
I think that we should be the honored one, but that's fine. On the booth, one of the things that we will look at, you have like a lot of different technologies that you already talked about. But I mean, the booth is very open and very, very friendly. Is that how you see yourself as a brand also in the U.S. market?
We consider ourselves true partners. We are here to help our customers grow. How do we enable them to be successful? How do they enable pages? So that's how we present ourselves. So we look to everything that we do, we invest in our technologies and our partners. It's customer in. It's not us, Canon, going out and telling the industry, the segments what you need. We're listening to our customers. It's important that we have advisory councils, hearing from them firsthand. We have the Think User Group, spending a lot of time with those customers throughout the year at the annual conference I mentioned, really listening to them. What's going to help them continue to... Very exciting what's happening with digital print from end to end, especially around the production inkjet, right? Selfishly, for the production inkjet side, we've got some really great announcements with the most recent iSeries Plus. So it's really...
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to talk to Jeff about the i300 Plus, so don't get head started on that one. Yeah.
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is that you are always so excited about the Canon thing. And one thing I just want to say, because we are soon cutting out this intro here, is you mentioned Think, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because Think is very important to Canon. Can you just give me like 10 seconds why it's important?
Very quick. Okay, so the Think User Group is an independent user group that consists of our Canon production and inkjet customers. So it's independent, managed by a board of customers who use our technology, and it's a community. It's really about bringing the people together to build the community, to help each other, enable each other, and grow.
Thank you very much for now.
I just want to encourage people to belong to or to join What They Think. It's the newspaper, the daily newspaper of the printing business. And if you're not reading it every day, you're really losing out on what's going on in our industry and losing ideas from people like Jennifer Matt, who just provide great content on a regular basis to help you grow your business. What I'm really interested in is the premium content. There are a lot of great press releases about what companies are doing, but it's the premium content giving you a roadmap to build your business. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I get an email every day from What They Think, and it's one of the must things that I read every day.
I've been a long-time subscriber of whattheythink.com, I think going back till almost the very beginning of whattheythink.com. For me, it's the go-to source for news in my industry. If I had to go out and find all the information that's readily available every morning in my little mobile email updates, I'd never get anything done. Been 38 years in the ink on paper side of the business, and now getting very heavily into the decorating side with sublimation print, and particularly interested to see that whattheythink.com is covering textiles now. So as I'm getting more involved in a new part of our industry, it's nice to see that my news source is covering that as well. Whattheythink.com is my go-to source for news.
From an industry standpoint, we love the videos, we love the things you produce. It really brings people to see things they wouldn't normally have seen, because not everybody can come to a trade show, not everybody can go to these different features or different machines. So, I mean, on behalf of the industry, I want to thank you for what you guys do.
Thanks. We love what we do.
Michael Poulin.
Yes, sir.
Is that pronounced correctly?
Yes, Michael Poulin, yes.
Okay. And Michael, we are here live from Canon booth here in Dallas, and you work with wide format and with partner programs. Is that correct?
Actually, with the continuous feed inkjet team, and I manage all of our partner programs, yes.
The partner programs, is that like software partners and hardware partners, or what kind of partners are you working with?
So it's everyone. So I'm the director of product marketing, and one of my major focuses is the partner program. So this year we created what we call the Unified Partner Program. So we're bringing everyone in. So we've done a lot of work with media partners, with finishing partners, but we also brought in all of our workflow partners as well. We work directly with our own workflow team with the Prisma Workflow Suite, and we integrate those seamlessly into our partners. So having all of that under one group with one team has been very good for us in that now we can leverage some of the things that we do together, creating new things. Some of the very cool things we did around those programs, this is one of them. And this
wow, that looks cool.
This ties in a little bit of everything, so I'll do a little show and tell. So it's produced on our continuous feed equipment. This is from our ProStream, our newest line in continuous feed, super high quality, able to print on commercial print, offset coated papers. But we took it to the next step. We said we didn't want to make just a ProStream output. We worked with our partner Verso, and Verso supplied all the paper. And then we worked with finishing partners to do the finishing. So we made it really a group effort from the partner front, which helped everyone. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just have to ask. So when we talk about partners here, like the ones that you just spoke about there for the coil and for the paper and substrates, I mean, I guess that what you do is basically make it much easier for customers to buy a full package from Canon, right?
And that's the plan. Yes, it's really so our customers can see how well we work together. And that by coming to Canon, we're going to facilitate those things for our customers. We're going to bring in those partners. We already have that relationship. So from a customer standpoint, they know by working with us, they're going to get all of those things. They don't have to go to a separate partner for workflow and a separate partner for media and a separate for finishing. By coming to Canon, we'll pull all those resources in for you.
And how important is that as a KPI? Because the reason why I'm asking is because, you know, when I look at some of your competitors in the market, don't they do similar things?
They do, but I think the key is us bringing everything under one umbrella this year with my team and the focus that we put on it. So very blessed to have a great management team that said, go do this, and they gave me the resources and tools to do it, and it's been hugely successful. About a month ago, we had Think, which is right behind you. I'm sure you guys will get a shot of that later. And with Think, we had 46 but 46 partners at the Think event, which is the most we've ever had.
I mean, 46, that's a lot of partners.
It is, and it continues to grow. So they see the benefit of this program. We've brought them all in, and they get to work together, but also really just bringing Canon in as that core function, and it's been great. And we've got the products that really help their products shine. So the products like the ProStream and the new iSeries Plus and the ColorStream, which has just been remarkable in the market space for so long.
You know, I was at Boca a year ago. I saw your ColorStream and ProStream, and I just think it's fantastic to see how Canon has invested. I guess you have invested a lot of money in this technology, and you came from maybe more from the traditional kind of transactional kind of inkjet web-based thing, and as you say, that it's actually commercial print quality that we're talking about. So the types of customer that you're looking for this equipment, is that who are they?
So again, for almost anyone. So we do still have a very strong transactional direct mail base, and our ColorStream is huge in that market space. We have over 1,300 ColorStream systems installed worldwide, so we're clearly the market leader when it comes to that. But now with the addition of the iSeries Plus and the ProStream, we can really go into that true commercial market space. And again, back to some of the partner plans, this is another big thing we've done. This is the Pocket Pal, so any commercial printer.
So when you say big thing and say pocket in the same sentence, how should I translate that?
It's a big little product. Most of the commercial printers in the world or in the U.S. are going to know what this is. It's been the de facto Bible for commercial print, and it's everything you need to know about
hold the other one
color management, It shows how offset workflow works, how the offset engine works, different technologies with litho and gravure. But what we did this year, partnering with IP, is we actually added a completely new digital section. And on top of that, we went to them and we said, we now have the products with the ProStream where we can print this and we can play in this market. So very generous of IP to work with us, but now this commercial print Bible now is being printed on the ProStream, and it's targeted for its true commercial printers. So nice soft touch cover, good quality on the inside, all printed on a digital inkjet product, first time ever.
And you have to bring me up to speed because I'm not American. So what is IP?
Oh, and sorry, International Papers.
Of course, International Paper. I know them. I should have known that that's what you're talking about. But their real name is International Papers, right?
Papers, yes.
And I guess that one of the things that also is showcased in this little pocket Bible here is probably also that one of the painstays for a lot of people talking about inkjet is the ability to actually print on uncoated stock, right?
And that's been a key. So in the work we've done with the factory, the ProStream was the first product we launched it about a little over a year ago, really targeted for the commercial print space and targeted for the offset coated media. So gloss stocks, which has really never been able to print on with inkjet before, we've got dozens of them available to our customers. So a true commercial printer that's running high coated gloss today, or dull, or a matte, or any kind of the offset finishes, they can really take that exact same paper, move it over to the ProStream, and get extremely high quality. The color gamut off of ProStream is up to 44% higher than on a typical offset 4-color press. So it really no limits to the application range that you can print on the product like that.
I think that one of the things that you always have to ask yourself when you're talking about new investments, because one thing is investment in technology. How do you see the progress in the market space as well? Because I mean, if we can't sell print, we don't sell machines, right?
That is true. So across the board, you see that technology jumping from all of our competitors and us as well. Obviously, they're not sitting still either, but it's really driving the business, right? So especially when you get into the commercial print space, and the fact that we're here in a large format, typically large format venue, and we're showing some of these new things, and you're going to see that integration more and more with customers looking to do more things, right? There's consolidation in the industry. You've got transactional printers that are printing commercial print on the side and vice versa, and there's a big mix. So having a company like Canon that can bring all of that together, I think, is key, and that's where we're going to continue to focus as we go in the future. You'll see that in our technology announcements as we go forward. It's all making it easier for the customer to do everything that they want to do, and that's from a product side, it's from the partner side, and then we have a huge professional services and service team that ties it all together. So we are truly a one-stop shop, bringing all of that together with a lot of really good resources.
And a final thing that I kind of like to talk to people like you about is also, because you also spoke about how important the partners are to Canon. I think that with moving into a commercial printing space, I think that the finishing part and all these kind of things are extremely more important because you have shorter print runs and you have different kind of applications. How important has that been in your decision on who you want to partner with?
It's finishing obviously is very critical, but we take a very agnostic approach to our partners. We're partners with almost everyone that you would imagine being here, and we make sure that our technology has open-ended communication systems so we can attach in line with almost anybody, and of course we can go into offline configurations or nearline configurations with nearly everybody. So another core of what we've been doing this year is getting more and more partnerships, bringing more partners on board, giving our sales folks and our customers more options. And that's been a big push too. So I think we brought on about 11 new partners this year that we had relationships with, but now we have official relationships with, doing those co-marketing things and doing more things like this with more partners. And that's our goal, so the customers can know what they can do and help bring in more business.
And I also think that from many different perspectives, I think that when you have partners, you help also co-branding inkjet technology to a wide audience, right?
Yeah. One of the great things is we've basically tripled our sales force by working with these partners, right? So now if someone has 100 salespeople, that's 100 salespeople walking around with a Canon product in their hand, talking about Canon, and there's no price tag on that. That's just a great relationship that we have with the partners, that they're out there kind of selling for us, which is great.
Thank you very much, Michael, and have a good show. This is Morten. Sorry, there was a technical glitch here. This is Morten Reitzer from English TV. We are live from Printing United in Dallas. And I found Perry Fernandez, and you are actually a customer, right?
We are a customer of Canon, yes, a big user of their high-speed inkjet technology, and yeah, glad to be at the show and here with our Canon peers. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this week.
We have to establish who you are and what kind of business you do. So PCI, tell us a little bit about what kind of company you have.
Sure, PCI Group, we're considered a transactional printer and mailer. We are, I would describe PCI as a big, small company. We're a little over 300 employees. We operate out of Fort Mill, South Carolina, and right here in Irving, Texas. And we are a user of their high-speed technology, Canon's high-speed technology. You know, they're more than a vendor, in my opinion. They are a stakeholder in what we do.
But that I mean, saying that, especially on live here, that is kind of a commitment, right? I mean, it's a commitment from you to Canon, but I also guess that it puts a lot of responsibility on their shoulders to actually support your business.
100%. So what we print is personal information. The transactional space that we're in, we print a lot of healthcare, a lot of financial documents and what have you. So what we print is critical. You got to get it right, and when you don't, you know, you're really you're facing, you know, HIPAA violations and whatnot. So that's where Canon comes in. They help us not only with just their printing, but you know, things like workflow, things of that nature.
So are you saying that they are like a full service provider to you, helping you with everything from workflow till finishing to everything?
Well, they take it all the way up to finishing. But they kind of, you know, consult us along the way. We do have dedicated service technicians on site, so that's a huge plus. I mean, we operate 24/7, 365 days a year, and you know, most of what we print has a 24-hour SLA. You have to get You have to get what you print today in the mail either by tonight or tomorrow morning. And, we print quite a bit of paper, about 10 million images a day. And as I said, it's personal information. You got to get it right. So,
tell me a little bit, because you are a 300-person company. The type of business you do. My audience is global, so I'm trying to figure out: are you in a market where you have a lot of competition, or how do you see yourself in the American market?
Well, again, I believe we're in Canon's top 20 as far as a ranking or what have you. But in the healthcare space, there are other transactional printers that do what we do. Quite a few companies do it themselves internally, whether they just feel more comfortable doing it in-house or what have you. But there are a lot of implants that do what we do as well. We help customers either with a contingency type of an arrangement where we could take some of their overflow, or just knowing that they have us as a backup in the event that something goes sideways, or there's a natural disaster type of thing. We help customers do that as well. So, but you got to be in sync with them. We got to make sure that we're all using the same workflow or similar.
Yeah, because I was just about to say that when you are working with, as you say, highly personal data, when you work with something that needs to be on time because the SLAs require this, and I guess you have high penalties if you don't deliver. I was just wondering. One thing is what you do at your company, but it's also quite important that the kind of data that you get from your customers is delivered safely and securely and in a format that, how is that managed today?
Well, we go through a rigorous amount of compliance and regulatory programs. We have to be certified. We are audited constantly by several different organizations. You have to be locked down. In a day like in our world today, data breaches happen. It happens to some of the largest companies in the world and in America, and your systems have to be locked down. You're not going to do business with some of the largest companies in America unless you are. So I was going to say, tremendous amount of effort and money goes into compliance and.
So I guess that when you have reached that level of integrity and trust from customers, I guess that might be sometimes even more important than having good partners like Canon when you go pitching new customers, because I guess that trustworthiness and that belief in you isn't that something that you can use, or you under hundreds of NDAs where you can't talk about customers, or how can you use it in your marketing?
Well, we do, but to your point, you have to be obviously discreet with who you're doing business with. But again, it makes us a better company, a stronger company. We have a high expectation from our customers, and again, at the end of the day, it makes you a better company in the end. So.
And is there specific requirements also when you employ people? Because do they have like regulatory processes for being sure that you employ people that can handle this kind of information?
Yes, we spend a lot of time with background checks and making sure that the people that we hire.
So you would say you don't have many crooks employed?
Right, exactly. So, but it's funny. The employees that we do have, we tell them that up front. Yeah. We say, look, we're a printer, but make no mistake about it, we're dealing with personal information, and that's how you got to look at it. It's not ink on paper. You're dealing with someone's personal information, credit card, health care, whatever, and you got to treat it that way. And we make it clear to our employees that that's the business we're in.
It's funny that you also say this, because I think that one of the, I wouldn't say problems, but maybe a slightly problem is like recruiting new young people to the industry, because they think it's like an old, boring, paper-based. But we are almost like IT companies. We're doing a lot of data and a lot of computers and a lot of software. I guess that your software department is working on quite exciting projects all the time.
Well, I would say it's a myth. The numbers don't lie. Mail is not what it used to be. The volumes are declining. But, there's just so much opportunity still. And the way we look at it, especially on the mail and print mail that is regulatory, you know, where you are required to put an envelope and what have you in a customer's hands. That's the type of business that we're in. I think it's going to be around still for a while. I know that the younger generation, you know, may not go to the mailbox as much as the older generation, and a lot of it is opt-in now too, where, you know, you want your banking statement, let's say, and you don't want paper. It's an opt-in thing, and you check a box and you say, don't send me a paper statement. But that being said, I mean, there's still plenty of opportunity there, and you know, that's what we do.
Talking about the decreasing market that is evident, I was just about to say as well that when you have invested in Canon inkjet technology, I think that you have also invested in something that where you can turn it from being a transactional print into something else. Is that some of the considerations you have when investing in inkjet?
I think we're going to stay focused in the transactional space. The story or the case that we do make with implants, companies that do their own printing, internal printing, that's a more compelling story, I think, with those folks, where, you know, it could be an insurance company, let's say, and their core business is insurance. It's not print. So inkjet technology, especially the latest technology, the high-speed technology, has really been, I would say in the last 10 years, has really come to market. And those implants that do their own internal printing, you know, they've come to a crossroads, and, you know, they look at you know, do they want to continue to invest in a cost center, or do they want to outsource to a company like PCI? So it's a compelling story that we can, you know, position ourselves.
But I guess that that answer should be easy to answer, right? Because that question should be answered because, I mean, they should outsource it because
it's not their core business. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess also that your continuous investment in both software and printing technology and finishing technology also should make you more competitive and still profitable, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what is the challenge when you go to market?
I think again, whenever we onboard a client, a customer, there's a tremendous amount of onboarding synergy. You have to make sure that your workflows are in sync.
I mean, you don't change from one supplier to another just for fun, right?
Right. Well, it's funny because even our customers, a lot of our customers they may have a lot of satellite, you know, print offices around the country. So they're the ones who are battling to make sure that all the formatting is at least somewhat standardized. So when we take that from our customer, a lot of times we have to work through that issue. Onboarding can take a long time. It could take months. It could take up to a year. I can think of one customer that we did it in 6 phases over about a 6-month period to a year, and you just got to do it one at a time and get it. But it's got to be right, though. You got to get it right, and that's at the end of the day. That's, you know, you don't want to rush into something like that, you know, because it's not a one-off ad hoc type of program. This is, you know, you're going to be doing this day in and day out, receiving files from customers, from that customer, and it's got to be right. So,
and I guess you do it right.
Yes, we do. We have, you know, it's funny. We are held to a very high standard. We always say we're 5 or 6 places right at the decimal, 99.9999. You know, so you know, 0 defect. That's our goal. That's what is expected of us. That's the customer expectation. But at the end of the day, I think we're pretty locked down because, like I said, what we do, you always have to continuously improve. You have to get better, and so that's what we do.
You already mentioned that you have a good relationship and a partner relationship with Canon. I take that you have been a partner with them for some time now, but when you look at partners in general terms, both from, let's say, paper suppliers, from finishing suppliers, from whatever suppliers you're working with, what kind of values do you put in a relationship?
I think there's, when I say that, you know, our vendors are stakeholders in what we do, you can just see that. It's not just words. I mean, all the way down to, you know, some of them, even all the way up to the, you know, the senior management level. You know, they want to make sure that you're okay, that, you know, you're getting it's not just all about service, that you're getting, any kind of troubleshooting that has to happen. I mean, things can go sideways. It's important that you have those types of relationships with your key vendors to make sure that, if it's a weekend or if it's a Saturday night at 3 in the morning, someone's going to be there for you and help you work through it. I mean, that's what Canon does.
And have you ever been in a situation where you had to take advantage of that stakeholder approach?
Absolutely. Happens all the
time. Give me a little story.
Oh, gosh. Well, I could tell you the 3 in the morning story where, we had
3 Dallas time, or what time are we talking about?
This was Eastern Standard Time, where printers go down. We're fortunate in that if there's bad weather that comes through, we have obviously we have backup generators and whatnot. But when you're printing at line speed, some of these printers are printing 500 or 600 feet a minute. When you have a power interruption, you can literally have, they call it a web break, where you literally snap the paper and it's traveling at that speed, and it can do a lot of damage. And when you're running 4 or 5 printers on your floor and you have a blip and you have 3 web breaks all at once, or 4, you can damage the equipment. You got to get it back. And again, we're under a tight window, so everyone kind of springs into action. It's all hands on deck and try to get up printing as quickly as we can at line speed and kind of recover from it. But I would say those are the ones that.
And that was a time where it was important to have Canon on the site.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's wrap this up, because it's been a long interview. I think it's been fun, because this is actually an area of the industry where I don't know so much about, because unfortunately in Europe, mailing and direct mail is under big stress because of postage rate, I would say. But I was just saying that first of all, it has been very nice talking to you, and I wish you all the best. We have 1 minute, so is there anything you would like to say? I mean, live is always stressful because you never know what to say in advance, right?
No, it's.
Do you think it's been fun?
It has been fun, and it's been great, meeting you, and thanks for your time as well. No, just being here, seeing all the different technology. I mean, we're in one space of the printing business, but just seeing what other companies are doing, the technology, the networking. I always say, if you're not networking, you're only talking to yourself. So
that's true, that's true. And now you and I have met in person. I think we're connected on LinkedIn, and I hope that we will meet each other another time. Maybe I can come and visit your printing company one time.
There you go. Yeah, we're not that far from here. Only about 20 minutes.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Pat McGrew, and welcome to another edition of Print Sample TV Live. This time we're coming to you from the show floor at Printing United, and this is a massive show. There are aisles that go from one end of Dallas to the other, the best that I can tell. But this time we're here in the Canon booth, and Canon is known for having every kind of printing device you might want to have. If you want to print documents, they've got you covered. If you want to print really amazing books and brochures, they've got you covered. And they've got you covered with wide format and all sorts of interesting industrial printing. So I'm actually sitting in the Canon booth, and in the Canon booth, there is a interesting methodology to their madness of showing you all the things they can do. We're actually sitting in the Taverna. There's also a candy shop. There are a few other shops along the way. And within the confines here of the Taverna, what they've done is shown off all the different things that Canon can do. The floor that we are actually set up on was printed on a Canon Arizona. It is an amazing piece of woodwork type flooring. And while the brick you see behind me was not actually printed on one of the Canon devices, the signage on it was printed on a Colorado, and it is a Taverna. It's the Taverna sign here, printed on a Colorado 650. So we think that this style of printing, for any printer who is already using wide format devices, is a really great thing to consider. Now, the other thing to consider, if you haven't already done this in your shop, is to start thinking about how you could set up maybe your front lobby or your showroom to look maybe like a Taverna or a candy shop or something that shows your clients all the things that you can do. Because between the wide format pull-ups and heck, even the behind me, there are an amazing number of things that you can offer with these really great range of print devices. Now, in addition to all this great printing that you can see, you aren't going to have an opportunity to touch and feel like I can some of this great texture. So the fun thing about Canon is with their Arizona series printers, they have what they call elevated printing. And I have to tell you, Randy Parr, who is the product manager, he said, printing has never felt so good, and that's a line I have to steal. Because when you touch this, you would swear that you were running your hand over fine leather. And on this one, you would swear that you were running your hand over weathered wood. It will actually print up to about 1 millimeter of depth. It is absolutely amazing. And on this, you would be convinced that you were running your hand over really fine fabric. So pretend, if you will, that you can feel this. If you haven't felt elevated print off of one of these devices, have a chat with your Canon folks, because if you own one of these devices, you should be getting involved with elevated print. And to make it easier for you to sell this to your clients and to become an outlet for designers who've already discovered the power of elevated textured print, OSE actually has a free downloadable plugin that you can get from Canon.com. It's from the Canon Solution Americas group, and this free plugin lets you enable both Photoshop and InDesign to create these great textures in layers. So if you're a designer, make sure that you go out and download these and start to play with them. And if you are one of the printers who own one of these devices, start to connect up with that designer network, because they could help not only you create great samples to show in your Taverna showroom, but they can also show you all the possibilities that designers are thinking of, right? Designers are amazing resources for really cool ideas. So while we're doing this, there are a whole lot of other things going on here in the booth that we want to talk about. So in addition to this really great texture stuff, they have some what I would call document printing. Now, this show was born out of the SGIA special, but this year we're bringing absolutely every kind of print to bear on this show. And so Canon is doing their part by bringing some really great work that they've done with the i300. So you know the i300, it's their cut sheet inkjet device. And it is just an amazing device. It pre-primes the paper, it gives you a nice range of substrates that you can print on. But the really cool thing that they've done is they've shown here some things that you might not have thought about. So have you ever been in that situation where somebody wants you to put colored banner sheets or colored sheets and you're going, oh gosh, how am I going to make that happen? Well, on the i300, you can actually do what I call painting the page with color. So this is not a colored sheet that was inserted. This is a white sheet that was actually just painted with color. So you set your transparency right, you get the color you want, and oh, by the way, since it's painted, it doesn't matter what color you want. You want some green? We've got some green for you. You want some of the very nice sort of orange, melony kind of color, we've got that too. So what does that mean for you as a printer? What that means is that you can tell your clients they can have any color paper they want, and you're still printing it from the same device. And because the i300 is working in the mode that it is, it allows you to mix and match some weights. So in this case, this is a cover stock that is printed, and it is printed just like this. So here's the inside, and here is the outside. And what I want you to notice are these perfs, right? So what this means is when this page comes out, it goes directly into the finishing device, and it is all set and ready to become this nice piece right here. So with the nice spiral bind, this is a good thick piece. As you can see, this is a 2019 planner, and the colors are just vibrant. Now, what can you do? You can personalize this, right? Because we're digital, you could make a separate one for every member of your team. You could go to schools and have them done individually for the students in the school so that they each have their own personalized planner. You could even put their class assignments and their room assignments as part of a print job for a client. So think about all the different things that an i300 can bring you. It's not just for documents anymore, it's for some of the coolest printing you might want to do. Now, in addition to this nice piece that they showed us, they also showed sort of a more traditional, what I might think of as higher education student planner. And it's really cool too, but it does this same thing where it gives you some great lifestyle pictures, it gives you room for planning, and again, it mixes and matches the color of the page. So no matter whether you want something with a high-end stock, you want something that's more of a plain stock, you want to go heavyweight or lightweight, this is a really great solution, and the Canon folks have done a great job. And the other thing that they did what I think everyone who does print event planning should do. They gave you what made the print. They give us the whole history. So this was printed on an i300, what paper it is printed on. In this case, this is, here I will read this to you. This is Nihan Classic Crest Smooth for the cover and Pixel Superior Matte for the interior. This is some great solutions for in an i300 mode. I know a lot of people with i300s actually have excess capacity on them. So if you're one of those people, start looking at adding additional products to your product line. Now, the i300, lovely inkjet device, we love it, but Canon is so much more. So one of the things that they did in building their print samples this time is they actually wanted to show the whole range of things that they could do on their image press, their color press, and their ProStream. So we're going to walk through some of these samples. So the first one I want to show you is this amazing book. So it's called Medellin Close Up, and it was written by a Chilean writer, and it talks about what it's like to live in Medellin. And it's full of these really beautiful color pictures. They are beautifully printed. The text is beautiful. It is lovely. So one of the things that I want to point out is that they not only created a really nice square format book, which I think is just brilliant, but you can kind of see this is all embossed with a really nice metallic foil, and they also did it on the sides. This is just a really nice piece and really shows off all the different things that you can do in an image stream environment. This particular piece was printed by SG360. You probably know them. They do some amazing work, and they are the masters at creating personalization on their books as well. So imagine being able to create a piece like this, a luxury giveaway for an event or of any kind, a company event, a school event, that's not only beautifully printed, but is also personalized. Again, it's the power of digital, and this is something that an image press brings you. But see this? This was printed on an image press. The fun thing is, so was this. And if this looks a little floppy to you, it's because it's actually printed on fabric. So in this case, what I want you to see is that it is not only really dense, it is down in the lower right corner, it has a knockout white print. One of the things that impressed everyone who looked at this is that you can read the white print, the smallest white print down to the period. So imagine you're in a situation where you're trying to do posters that maybe need to have a legal disclaimer, actually any kind of document that needs a legal disclaimer, but you want to do white on dark. Well, you're there because you can read this text all the way down to the smallest type, and the print quality is just absolutely brilliant. So I think this is something you need to think about. If you have an image press and you're not looking at these kinds of products, you should be, because they can really help you out. Now, also done partly with an image press and partly with a color stream is this great book from International Paper. And if you go to ipgiving.com, you'll find out more about Apollo the Space Dog. This is a piece that is not only a great representation of print, it also includes augmented reality. This was done with the team at Trek, who have been working in our industry for years, and they've also imbued it with augmented reality. They're using Wikitude for the augmented reality on this particular piece. And so with that app and this book, the whole idea is to take kids on a journey to help them understand how to read and why reading is so fabulous. It is a beautiful book. And the thing about books like this is that you can not only create them and have them look brilliant. This book block was done on the image press, and again, the cover was done on the color press. But what you can do is you can personalize them. So imagine that Apollo the Space Dog not only goes on an adventure with Andy, who's named in the book, but goes on an adventure with your child. The power of digital books is that you can do that. Add augmented reality and you have an amazing piece. So thanks to International Paper for creating this. In fact, if you go to any of the events that International Paper is at this year, you'll probably see copies of this book. It is just a really nicely done piece, and it's just beautifully printed. And I want to tell you, it's durable. If you're worried about handing this to kids and thinking they're going to nick it up, this is really durable print. So now we are at my favorite piece. This is a piece called Possibilities. And I want to tell you that this was done on the ProStream. And I was actually there for the ProStream launch. And I was impressed with the machine when I saw it. But I knew that it still had some growing to do to get into all the wild and wonderful things it was really destined for. And I think what we see with Possibilities is we're there. So if you can see, and I'm going to kind of bend this a little bit, the eyeglasses are actually finished with a spot gloss, which is just brilliant. It really brings out a lot of possibilities. And throughout this spiral-bound book, what you find is that there are pages that highlight gloss, but they also highlight some really interesting finishing opportunities. So one of them is the ability to do this really great fold-out, right? So because we can do a long sheet on this device, it makes it possible for us to do some really interesting kinds of finishing and gloss work. And there is a page in here that I love where they've actually split the page in half, and of course now I can't find it, where they've split excuse me for a second, I'm going to find this page because you're going to love it. So we have this guy, and you can actually change his pants if you kind of, so I don't know if this is the look you're looking for, but there you go. So you can actually do the finishing here, so you're not only showing a single image, but you can actually pair images up. I just think this is one of the things that actually meets the brief. They said this was going to be possibilities. This is possibilities, and I love it. Now, you might be saying, well, what do I have to do to be able to do something like a possibilities book if I want to create something like this for myself? It's really not that hard. So the first thing you should do, you've got a pro stream, have a chat with your Canon folks and ask them if they will help you, because I'm sure that they will. But the other thing that you want to do is you want to start working with your local design groups. So perhaps you have agencies as clients, and they're looking for ideas on how they can their clients what all can be done in print. Maybe to do an ABCDEFG all the way through Z book, where each designer in the shop gets a page that they can design and you can execute on your pro stream. And remember, it's not just the pro stream. That would work for the image stream, the color stream, the i300, any of these devices. In fact, it would work for all of the wide format devices, the Arizona and the Colorado. Work with your clients to have them help you create the best print samples that will show you off, because that is the way to grow your business. One of the things I know from going in and doing assessments, business assessments and workflow assessments over the years, is that we rarely find a printing company that is actually using the full resources of the presses that they own. If you have any excess capacity at all on any of your devices, you should be using that time to create net new products and net new services that you can offer the teams that you are trying to serve. Go to your the partners that you print for. It's almost inevitable that they are buying print from other people in addition to you. If that's the case, then what you want to do is find out what print you're not getting a hold of and start to develop print samples that address those needs. Because pieces like this possibilities book, pieces like the Apollo Space Dog, right? Pieces like Medellin Close Up, right? Pieces like these planners. These are brilliant pieces, and in many companies, there's not a product like this currently being offered by the sales teams, but it's so easy for you to get into and to do, and that's what you really want to do. And at the end of the day, you could even create your very own taverna or a candy shop, and in fact, I'll give you a, I'll tell you a secret. So here on the Canon booth, they actually have the booth look book. So do you remember when you were growing up, maybe you had the Montgomery Ward's catalog or the Sears catalog, and we called them look books. It was always the wishes. Well, for me, this booth look book is just like one of those, because and I look at this is the office that they did. When I look at the taverna where we are, when I look at the candy shop, which is just brilliant. What this tells me is all the things I kind of forgot I knew about what we could do with print. And for a lot of us, that's the case. We just forget all the things that we've done traditionally with print. So if you are here at Printing United, please don't forget to come by the Canon booth and take a look. If you're watching us as a live stream, or you're watching us in a post-Printing United time frame, reach out to your Canon team, no matter where you are in the world, and they will be able to help you do things that look remarkably like this. Now, we're here for the whole run of show doing Print Sample TV Live today, tomorrow. Don't forget to come back and see us, and don't forget to tell your friends that when it comes to samples, Print Sample TV Live and Print Sample TV channel on English TV is where they should be. I'm Pat McGrew. It's been my pleasure to be here with you today. Come back next time.
One, two. This is Morten from English TV, and we are still at Canon booth here in at Printing United in Dallas, and I have the pleasure of meeting you again, Jeff.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you very much. Actually, we met Jeff last time in Boca at the Project Peacock thing, and it was pretty interesting. Can we turn off the sound for a second? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's easier with our sound instead of the... Yeah, that's perfect. No, Jeff, you are working with a fantastic i300.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah. I guess that you have even just announced that you have made a new version of it called i300 Plus.
That's correct, yes. We launched it at Think.
Yeah. For people who don't know what i300 is, can you tell us a little bit?
It is one of the first cut sheet inkjet products that we brought to the market about 5 years ago. And right now it's leading the way. So we've had tremendous success with it. We've got some great customers running a lot of different types of applications that are out there, and giving us a lot of good feedback.
When you look at a machine like the i300, it's a quite huge machine. But I was thinking that when you look at when Canon, I think that you're one of the first movers were entering into the sheet-fed inkjet, right?
Yes.
Why should people choose an inkjet machine over a toner-based machine?
Well, it's really based on the applications, okay, and its cost of ownership. So when you're looking at the cost of ownership and how technology has moved, how the industry has changed, you know, everything they want it now, or they wanted it yesterday. They want their costs down. They want to be able to turn it very, very quickly. The I-Series can do that.
So are you saying that investing in maybe the capital cost of investing in an inkjet machine is higher than on a similar toner base, but are you saying that if you have the right applications and you have the right volume, then it will turn out very profitable for a printer to choose that technology?
Absolutely, and that's the whole key. Printers, what they do is print. They go after their customers to provide them solutions. We help those customers with the solutions that they're printing on. It's all about volume. So the more volume you can produce today, when you're looking at some of the technologies, the volume and the cost doesn't go down, okay? Or it rises very, very quickly as your volume goes up. With inkjet, that curve does not go up as much. And we've had situations where customers have purchased the equipment, looked at their volume, could be $1 million, $2 million a month, and they're seeing that they're actually paying less today than they were before, and the uptime is tremendous. And that's really the difference. When you're looking at inkjet technology, it's the reliability, it's the consistency. So you have to ask yourself, the jobs that I'm doing today, am I running the job and it's done and it's out, or do I have to spend a lot of time on the job in order to get it out? And the customers that have inkjet, they're running the job and it's getting out, which allows them to bring in more applications, more revenue, and their volume goes up.
I like that approach because what you're saying is basically that with the i300 and the capabilities of the sheet-fed-based inkjet technology, it's actually kind of replacing the offset machines, because you don't have like a fixed click base, but you have like consumables, so you can actually monetize from having larger print runs, I guess. But my question was more like, do you experience that printers are good at inventing new applications when they have technology like this one?
Never underestimate the customers. They are able to come up with some phenomenal applications that are out there. In fact, please take a look at the innovation awards that we have right around the booth of what some of our customers have done with inkjet. It's all about, what can they do to minimize the touches of a job, okay? And you mentioned about the industry and the craftsmen. We see it as some of these craftsmen in the industry are retiring. They're not being replaced. And that is a craft that we're losing. So when the I-Series was when it first came out, they took that in mind. And what they looked at is, okay, what do we need to have 5 years from now? And what kind of technology and how does it need to operate? It's a very easy machine to operate. There's a lot of checks and balances that it will do by itself, which is very interesting. And then when you look at...
Like what?
Well, as an example, good lead-in. When you're looking at it from an operator standpoint, it actually gives you feedback on what the machine is doing. It will tell you, when the ink needs to be loaded, when the paper needs to be loaded. So from a skilled operator standpoint, if the file is produced correctly, and when it comes down, it's going to print it exactly what it's supposed to look like. You don't need to tweak the file at the machine. You just let the workflow flow.
And is that also because, I guess that with digital technology that the designers and the people that creates the input for these machines are way more skilled today, or they have technology that gives them the GT7 or Focus standards? Is that because your equipment is just capable of taking that output so you don't have to twist it because it's done already from the designer's perspective? Or
we're taking the native file of how it is supposed to look and we print it the way it's supposed to look. It's very consistent. With inkjet, it is very consistent. So we're not utilizing a lot of heat, okay, with some technologies, and the difference there is the consistency. You don't see the fluctuations going up and down. But the reliability of having 1.2 million between calls, being able to produce 10 million in 1 month, and having what we call predictive maintenance or proactive maintenance, I think is a better term, where we're actually calling customers and saying,
hey, are you not printing at all because you're not asking for service?
No, we're actually calling them because the customer doesn't know that they might have an issue coming up. And this has happened many, many times where we're calling the customer and says, we'd like to schedule some time with you. Maybe on Thursday, we need the machine for about 2.5 hours. We've already got the parts.
When you say that, you also told me just before that you have actually, with the i300 Plus, you are able to actually update it on site. I just need to show, because we don't have much time left.
Okay.
Can you show me? You have some samples here where you have the old 300, if you can say it like that, and the new i300 Plus.
Yeah.
Can you show me some of the samples
this
here?
This is a great story,
Yeah.
because our early adopters that invested in this, you talked about the investment, invested in this technology years ago, and had the ability to.
Was it these two?
Let me see here. Yes.
Yeah.
So our customers today, that when they invested in the technology, the great story here is that this is what they were producing, and now they're able to produce this.
So as we spoke about before, it's just like you get like a color gamut and a density of colors that are way more appealing, I guess I could say, right?
It's more appealing, but from a standpoint of upgrading on site, it's almost unheard of. Most manufacturers today want to upgrade you to something new. Okay, it's a forklift upgrade. Here, what we're actually doing is we are taking this technology. We're actually having line people come in from Venlo, and they're spending about 3-4 days on site replacing the inside of the machine to give them the plus.
And one of the things, of course, I guess is a concern for some printers is that because this is a extremely upgrade in quality, I guess. But is it more cost effective, or is it more expensive, or how should we see this?
Well, what we're seeing is it's an opportunity to go after more revenue, because we were printing about 5 different cover stocks today. When we came out with a Plus, we had 14 100-pound coated cover stocks that we could print right out of the gates. Where on the other coated stocks that we have, between 80-pound and 100, we're up to about 49 right now. Multiple manufacturers. So this gives them now more flexibility from a media choice, flexibility from an application to satisfy those customers, and an opportunity to really make an impact on their bottom line.
You forgot one thing. It makes it more easy for you to sell it, right?
It really, when you tell the story, it's a great story. So, I mean, Canon has always been here for our customers. We'll continue to do that. From a service standpoint, we're always going to back our customers. But you're looking at technology. It's consistent, it's reliable, it's predictive, and it can make a customer a big impact to the bottom line.
What I like talking to you about, Jeff, is always that you are so positive and you have this really, really go-to attitude that I like. It seems that the printing industry has a lot of years in it, right?
I've been in the industry a while, and I love where I'm at. I mean, Canon has a lot to offer our customers today, not just in cut sheet, but from large format to roll to our electrophotographic technology today. We got some great solutions. How can it not be fun?
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Great to see you.
Okay, enjoy.
one of the very, very important things about digital print and technology today is, of course, workflow. And I have found Jane Nerf, right? Is that the correct pronounced?
Absolutely.
Jane, tell a little bit about what you're working with.
Okay. So as you look around, you see a lot of, the offset and the digital world converging. And a big part of that is because people are using more variable data and print runs are becoming shorter. So what we're demonstrating is the workflow behind improving your efficiencies and automating so that you can actually keep up with that, one-off production.
And you are head of, you're product specialist in marketing and workflow. Is that correct? Or?
Yes, in workflow, so in our software solutions, in our professional services, which really go hand in hand. Helping you to automate that process is not just software, but it's also people and processes.
Okay. So when you are working on the workflow side, is that what we used to call the Prism from OSE, or?
The Prisma, yes.
The Prisma.
Yep.
Okay. And just because I have to get up to speed in this one, in the old days, wasn't Prisma just like an umbrella of a lot of different software?
And it still is. And so, we do everything from order intake and order management to pre-press software and also output management. So having a central point of control to run not just Canon devices, but non-Canon devices, all from a single point of entry.
So that means that if I am a customer, let's say that I operate a competitive brand, and I would like to buy a Canon workflow solution and add some Canon hardware to it, that is perfectly doable?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the thing is that, historically, if you had a different printer vendor, it came with a proprietary data stream. And so Canon has always positioned itself as being multiple inputs, multiple data streams, legacy IBM and Xerox, etc., and then being able to output to any device.
And I guess that, obviously a tremendous advantage for a printing company. And how does that put you in the market position? Is that something that you actively sell, that you are able to deliver cross-vendor solutions?
Yes, we do. And today, in order to automate your process, people are moving towards what's called JDF file formats. And the idea behind JDF is that it would not be vendor specific, that this consortium came together so that people could, you wouldn't know really where you were going to send, what production line you would be sending a print job to. And so the idea is that we've actually, and what we're demonstrating today is a advanced JDF processor that allows you to take in these JDF-enabled XML files, PDF files, and output them to any device and any production line, and then be able to do a late bindery that if in fact one production line is down, you don't need to go back up to your pre-press and reimpose all of that. It's something you can just change last minute and do either a reprint or just send it to a different production line. So really that multi-vendor, making that a reality that you can still do that is really where our attention is in our workflow.
Obviously, when I listen to you, I hear that you have a great understanding of the technology and how it works. I was, the reason I was asking is just because when I go talk to printing companies, it's still like black magic sometimes.
Yeah, and I think if it's working right, it can be black magic, and that's the hopes. Is that I don't want to have to think about which production line and how does my job have to be imposed, and is it JDF enabled or not JDF enabled? Do I need to put barcodes on the application, and is it on the leading edge, which way for which device? So we try to do all of that ourselves and make it black magic for the end user.
And is that something that Canon Solutions America actually offers to the customer, also to be the consultant in this challenge?
Yes, and when you asked me my roles and responsibility, I said it's software and professional services, because it does take the expertise and the knowledge of working with multiple customers. We gain so much insight ourselves, and so to be able to take sort of be that single point that we can help you to integrate your existing software with new software and to help you get to that fully automated, it is definitely people as well as software.
So if I'm a printer in Alaska, just to take the Hawaii is a longer way, but if you take a printing company that far away, is it actually Canon people that goes there, or you have local partners, or how do you actually operate?
We do have partnerships with other software companies, so it really depends on, but yes, we do go, we do have reps out in the field. They work very closely with any partners, and so often we know we're selling a Canon solution with maybe a non-Canon software because people have already made investments today, and so they don't want to undo some of the things that they've invested in. So we try to work very closely with them to enable them to sort of marry these islands of automation together. So that might be a combination of Canon and a partner.
We spoke to one of your clients before from PCI, and he saw Canon more like a stakeholder in his company rather than just a vendor, which is, pretty amazing to get that kind of endorsement. And I was just wondering, when he was talking about that kind of services, is that because you really dig into the understanding of the painstaking of a customer before you come with solutions?
Yeah, I think we always look at our the way that our company is, our philosophy is KOSE, which is working together for the common good, and it really filters down throughout everything that we do. We look at not just our partners like the media, pre and post-processing, software partners, as people that we work closely with, but we look at our customers as partners because their success is our success. We even offer services to help them grow their business. We help them to actually find new markets and to onload new applications onto their printers. So I like to think that the compliment that we receive from PCI is one that you would receive from many of our customers, because that's our goal.
That's fantastic. When you talk about these, about basically the professional services and also the software suite that you are selling, I was just, maybe it's prejudice, but I was just thinking that I think many people think of the printing companies like Canon, Xerox, these kind of companies, more like mostly interested in hardware. Is that totally misinterpretation, or is that something from the past?
Well, you're talking to the software person, so I think that the industry is very focused on hardware, but I think that the more our industry changes towards automation, software is really the underlining facilitator of anything. And really, if you're going to gain efficiencies, if you're going to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, it's your workflow and how well you can actually produce jobs to get things out on time, on schedule, and in the best quality, comes down to how good is your workflow.
So with everybody being more and more busy, I think that your role and Canon's role as supplier of both the professional service and software is not getting less important in the future.
Oh no, it's becoming more and more important. And when you said the industry's always been focused on printers, I think that is changing as people, as we started heading into like Industry 4.0 and people start recognizing really we've got so much intelligence today and big data and artificial intelligence, that what we do with that data is making our print applications more and more singularly focused. And so the only way really to meet that one personalized application is through automation and software. And so the focus has gotten far more it's gained a lot more attention in workflow than ever before.
And that leads me back maybe to the last question, because the reason why I was asking about this knowledge with printers, because when I talked about black magic, one thing is black magic, what happens and comes out of it. But I was also thinking of it from a perspective that it requires a skill set from the printer to actually invest in this technology.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're trying to take some of those requirements for, today when you submit a job with a JDF format, it's actually passing along communications as to how does that job have to be positioned, etc. It's passing on, as far as the finishing devices, the printing, how is the job imposed. We're trying to automate more and more and doing things like batching jobs up front based on common medias and things like that. Take some of that skill set so that it's automated for you, so you don't have to dive deep. And what's the best way for me to batch a job together to get that output?
And final thing is that basically when you have that approach as well to your customers, I take that it's even more important that you have almost like a stakeholder and almost like a friendship approach, because they have to put a lot of trust in you as a supplier.
Yes, yeah. And likewise, we do what's best for our customers, because like I said, if they're here 5 years from now and maybe they're only using our workflow and not our printer devices, but if they're entrusting us with their workflow, then eventually they're going to recognize I would, that trust goes beyond to, further into printers and other, areas as well. So really that's our goal, is to form partnerships and relationships for the long term.
So cool, Jane. Thank you very much.
Okay,
nice talking to you.
I just want to encourage people to belong to or to join what they think. It's the newspaper, the daily newspaper of the printing business. And if you're not reading it every day, you're really losing out on what's going on in our industry and losing ideas from people like Jennifer Matt, who just provide great content on a regular basis to help you grow your business. What I'm really interested in is the premium content. There are a lot of great press releases about what companies are doing, but it's the premium content giving you a roadmap to build your business. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I get an email every day from What They Think, and it's one of the must things that I read every day.
I've been a long-time subscriber of whattheythink.com, I think going back to almost the very beginning of whattheythink.com. For me, it's the go-to source for news in my industry. If I had to go out and find all the information that's readily available every morning in my little mobile email updates, I'd never get anything done. Been 38 years in the ink on paper side of the business, and now getting very heavily into the decorating side with sublimation print, and particularly interested to see that whattheythink.com is covering textiles now. So as I'm getting more involved in a new part of our industry, it's nice to see that my news source is covering that as well. Whattheythink.com is my go-to source for news.
From an industry standpoint, we love the videos, we love the things you produce. It really brings people to see things they wouldn't normally have seen, because not everybody can come to a trade show, not everybody can go to these different features or different machines. So, I mean, on behalf of the industry, I want to thank you for what you guys do.
Thanks. We love what we do.
Last time I was with Canon in Boca in Florida, I was so happy because I met this nice lady, Lucy. Lucy, at that time you were responsible for, I think it was like partner programs for substrates, right?
That is correct, yes.
And you have moved up.
I'm moving on to new and exciting things. I'm actually the product marketing manager for the color stream.
But before we start talk about the color stream, we have to talk a little bit about some substrates, because I always, I am actually a little bit upset with you right now.
Oh,
because I love substrates, and that's why I like you much more like last time. Now you're just a hardware woman.
Well, I will tell you, paper is dear to my heart. I absolutely love it. There's so much we can do with our customers to help them grow their businesses by just leveraging the investments that they have today with their technology by using different substrates. Oh, and that's the beauty of what media can do for our customers.
Yeah. That's good. So we have established that we have that in common at least.
Yeah,
okay, super. I think that one of the things that is always a challenge for printing companies speculating about investing in inkjet is what kind of substrates can we use for our technology.
Well, there is an array. So inkjet has come very far in the last few years. So traditionally, you would need to use an optimized sheet for inkjet, inkjet treated or inkjet coated papers, whether it's matte or gloss. But today, we have game changer technology, whether it's with our VeriPrint iSeries Plus or with the ProStream. We're able to actually work on and print inkjet on offset coated stocks. That's a game changer in relation to what customers can do today.
I have to ask you a question, because I'm a little curious now, because everybody talks about the uncoated substrates on inkjet.
Yes.
Fine. My question is, how is it in America? Because I think that if you look in Europe, I think that maybe 80% anyway is printed on coated stock.
Well, that's true. I mean, and that's what's beautiful is you do have that flexibility depending upon your application needs. So we're able to print on offset coated stocks. Whatever you might be using on your sheet offset presses or on your roll presses, whatever is available, we can actually use the ProStream and the iSeries to take care of those applications. And the ColorStream provides a nice complement to that, because we can print on untreated or groundwood types of stocks, as well as inkjet optimized sheets as well.
So the reason why you have moved on, is that simply because now you can print on all types of paper, so there's no reason for having a specialist?
Not at all.
Well, I do have a counterpart who has taken on the role, a gentleman by the name of Jason Barbero. He continues to really emphasize and grow our media program. So we have a strong belief in developing and nurturing those partnerships with all our paper mills, our converters, and our distributors. And the importance to that is because our customers are continuously evolving and developing new applications to really bring to life on the presses that they've invested in. And so we really want to continue to evolve and test new media as they become available, because mills continue to innovate as well as we do. So from that perspective, we need to continue to partner with them to do more testing, and that's the beauty of our media program. We have the ability to partner with our mills, have them come in, bring new paper products to life, do that testing and ensure that we evaluate them for runnability, for print quality, and then when we are able to add them onto our evaluated media list for our products, really emphasize to our customers what's possible with our technology from that perspective.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, so what is it you have here? You want to show us something?
Yes, so in that spirit of really doing more with our technology, leveraging media. So we have a few things, and that's part of also the beauty with our partner programs, with our media partners, is the fact that we can collaborate and develop co-branded pieces to really showcase what our technology can do on their substrates. So in one area, I have some specialty media.
Oh, I need a new auto loan. Can you just, oh, that's good. No, that's too little.
So this is what this is showcasing, is what we can do from a self-mailer. It gives direct mailers a different way of sending publications to customers, to their end users, instead of just a traditional postcard. So specialty media is an area that we're really emphasizing and growing in when it comes to partnering with some of our mills.
And what is the specialty of this? This is an uncoated.
This is an uncoated sheet, but what is unique about it is it's using a cohesive. And so what this becomes, it goes, you print it flat, but then it gets sealed using a special sealer at the end, and you end up with a envelope size printed piece ready to go into the mail.
So this kind of application is basically coming directly off a reel-based inkjet machine?
Absolutely, yes it is.
So it can go fast, I guess?
Absolutely, yes it can.
So you can make money on it?
Yes you can, absolutely.
And you can actually make it look good as well?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so what's not to like?
Exactly. Nothing, everything, all to like. All good stuff here. A couple of other things that we are doing also is showcasing some label stock, lightweight media as well. So there's an array of different solutions that we can offer our customers. Again, taking advantage of the investments that they've made in their existing technology, all leveraging the capabilities that are being brought to market by our media partners.
And what does this print sample show?
So this one is actually, it's a very unique piece. It's a countdown to Drupa calendar. So it goes from June of 2019 to June of 2020, and it's showing a couple of things. So one, this is actually a label stock. So it's showing that we can actually do things like labels, pressure seals, and ID cards on inkjet technology. And it's also showcasing the creativity inside of the design of this particular piece. So it's a very unique way, because the numbers that you see here are really all to tell the calendar story that you see with the label stock. Very unique.
Okay, so it's just a nice design, basically.
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. Fine. ProStream.
ColorStream.
ColorStream.
ColorStream. So excited.
What is the difference between the two?
So that's a good question. Media is a big part of the difference between the two. So ColorStream is our flagship inkjet continuous feed product. It's really, its sweet spot centered around key publishing, transactional, trans-promotional, and direct mail pieces, but it really supports inkjet treated or inkjet optimized papers, both treated and coated papers, as well as untreated brownwood sheets. ProStream, however, also continuous, but much higher end applications like magazines, catalogs, high-end marketing collaterals, where offset coated media is important. So those glossy application samples, ProStream does amazing work on those presses with that media.
And you were working with what?
I'm working with the ColorStream.
With the ColorStream. So what are you doing?
So I'm the product marketing manager for the ColorStream. So I help our salespeople, I help our customers really see what they can do with their existing investment technologies, work with our media partners to see if we can develop creative pieces to really showcase what the technology can do to help our customers grow new pages, extend into new markets, and do more with their investments.
And is it a fun job you have?
Absolutely, I love it.
Okay. So what is it can you give an example of what you actually do with your customers when you look into substrates and new applications?
Sure. So at times we partner with our sales folks. A salesperson might have an engagement with a customer. A customer will come to them and say, you know, we've got our end user who's looking to grow in a particular area, perhaps develop a new direct mail piece, or look at a new application that requires using a particular substrate. That substrate is not on our evaluated media list, so what our reps will do is engage myself and our media lab, submit a request to be able to get this media tested. We'll work with our partners to get a roll in. A roll will come into our Boca facility. We will actually get it on press and run it, test it extensively for runnability, print quality, and a lot of other attributes. Once that's completed, then we can actually take a customer's file, run a print sample of the customer's application, and get them that actual application in their hands to not only share with them, but also to share with their end user to evaluate to see if this is going to meet their needs.
That sounds like you are a business developer for your customers as well.
Well, I think that is all-encompassing and a big part of what our role should be.
Lucy, it was such a pleasure to meet you again, so thank you very much.
Morton, it was good to see you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. See, when you are in good company, and we have been in a good company with the nice people from Canon, 2 hours is actually going quite fast. And I'm again here with Tonya Powers. We forgot to introduce you probably before. You are the...
I am the Director of Marketing, the go-to-market team specifically at Canon Solutions America. Hi.
Hi, my name is Morten.
Hi, Morten.
Hi. Was it Tonya? Oh,
yes.
Sorry. No. Tonya, we are going to wrap this 2 hours up, and we are going to talk about some of the things that you do for your customers. Okay. I think that people have maybe not got the 100% idea about Think. Okay. I think the word is fantastic. I think it's great. What do you think?
So actually, I want to step back a little bit and what is driving the creation of Think. Really, the Kiyosei or Canon philosophy is the term Kiyosei, which you may have heard before, and it's all about living harmoniously. The people we work with, our employees, our partners, our environment. So always giving back. So I mean that's our philosophy. So of course it was a natural transition for us to look at, okay, we have this growing community of production inkjet customers, and they need help. They need to understand what does it take to invest in this type of equipment, what's the impact it will have on their business, how will they continue to grow and evolve with this new technology. So that really is what spurred the development of the Think User Group. So we reached out to customers in the community, and a board was elected, and they lead and drive this. So it's all coming from the customers, it's coming from the community.
So are you saying that the actual planning and the content of Think is community driven? Exactly,
and that's what we're all about. We want to be there to help our customers. We want to help the community. We want to help the industry grow.
That's pretty amazing, because from being from the outside, I thought it was just a marketing event.
Oh no, not so much. It's all about networking and knowledge, and that's what we're trying to enable at the conference. There is a very successful annual conference. As I think I mentioned earlier, we had over 600 attendees. So very successful, but it's built from the community, and it's not only the print buyers, the printers. They are also all the 45 plus partners that were there to help create these end-to-end solutions. We're one of those partners that are there. None of us can do it alone. Our customers need us to come together and help identify what needs they have and how can we drive this industry forward.
Talking to both you and also previously with Michael Poulin, it seems that the partner approach is extremely important for Canon.
Absolutely. Without them, it's a beautiful printed page, yes, but it needs to be a finished product. So we have to rely heavily on them, and what's driving it to the presses. We need that as well. So it's a holistic, and then of course, which our customers demand, they have to have more substrates. When you're talking inkjet, they have to have flexibility of the substrates that their customers are looking for. So without that partnership with the paper mills, we can't deliver the papers that our customers need.
Of course, when I said partnerships, you turned into talking about both the finishing partners and the pre-press partners, but I think that it was actually meant as a more broad perception, because I was thinking of that. It seems that we've been talking to what was his name from PC?
Perry.
Oh yeah, Perry. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, basically,
yes.
it seems that everything everything that you do
it's holistic.
And you're trying to build like really, really close relationship with partners that are vendors or merchants or papers, but it goes the entire way also to your customers.
I think the beauty of Think specifically, it's that community. And we also want the customers to partner with each other. It's amazing the connections customers will make at the conference or through workshops or roadshow events. They will build these relationships and help each other grow, because every customer is unique. They build these unique end-to-end solutions, but they may have a gap. They have a customer as a need. They can't quite do it, but they have a great friend that they've built this relationship with over the years through Think. And so they reach out and they help each other. So that's it's a true community.
You work with marketing. I take that working with marketing and having a strategy where you become very closely involved with both the customers and guess also from staff perspective. I guess that you are a very tight together group. I mean, you hear a lot of in the industry. You hear about a lot of companies that are laying off people. I think that you are more stable than most in the industry.
So Canon, we continue to invest back into the company, and I mentioned earlier also, we're customer in. So I think what brings so much value to partnering with Canon is we really are listening to our customers. We want to understand what their needs are, and we want to bring that to them, because that will help them be successful. So Canon annually will invest back into up to 8% of their profits back into R&D, specifically oftentimes into the inkjet, because they're recognizing the value it has and what it's doing in the industry. So a lot of advancements happening on that side specifically, and it's all going back to help our customers, because if they're successful, obviously we're successful.
When you have this approach, and I'm asking because I used to work with marketing myself as well, I was just curious, because you invest a lot of your brand and your trustworthiness into the market, that requires a lot of courage, because if you fail, right, you can lose a lot of credit in the market.
Well, it's really, it all comes back down to the people. I think we have a great group of people that we work with. We're very passionate. I'm sure you saw
I know.
in many of your interviews. We are passionate. We're passionate about the customers. We're passionate about helping them. We're passionate about working with other like-minded people in the industry and the community to come together and bring great solutions for all.
And that's also one of the things I like about I got to know you a year ago, because that was like you're giving also back to the community about like Project Peacock. And
yes, I mean that one is another project close to heart. Again, I get pretty excited and have to calm down.
You don't have to cry
when I talk about it, but it's really just it's another way just to continuing that education and learning in the industry, because you know, beyond the printer, there's the end users, the print buyers. They need an education just as much as any one of us in this stream. So partnering with Project Peacock, we were able to take it to the road and educate all these designers and agencies, and that has been an amazing journey for us, and we hope to continue with that. And what's happening, it's exciting here at Printing United, they also have Brand United. So we're a sponsor of Brand United, and again, it's just a way for us to continue that message. We've got people speaking on panels talking about how to design for inkjet, which we helped, we partnered with Think and some industry experts to write that book. And we've got customers who have lived and breathed big data and are using it successfully. They're sharing their information with the people in the class to learn how can they leverage what is possible through digital print, what the power print can bring to that communication mix, because it is so valuable. So it's really interesting to have this group of people to come in and hear from experts and really try to understand how they can embrace the power of digital printing and pass that along to their clients.
And listening to you and to your colleagues and to your customers, it seems that that strategy works. It seems that you are having success in the market.
We like to think so. I just got our numbers back. We're actually leading once again in the inkjet market share, 36%. So I think that's a little bit of a reflection on some of the things that we're doing out in the industry.
And is there like a next step with all the things you work? I mean, because I guess that all progress and development needs to keep you on the edge all the time.
Yes, we are always continuing to invest. I'm sure the latest announcement you probably heard from Jeff Sarringar with our iSeries Plus. So again, that coming straight from customers are like, we were the first production sheet fed inkjet to launch in the US, and it was very successful. But as it evolved over the past few years, we started listening to customers say, this is great, but you know what? It'd be really awesome if it could print faster, could it print on more substrates, could we work on the color, get it just a little bit more vibrant? So we listened and we invested that R&D back into that technology. We knew it had a lot of promise and can go even further. And we announced the iSeries Plus at the Think Ahead conference, and we have lots of samples here for anyone who wants to drop by at the show floor and take a look at that.
They should, because you have a lot of nice stuff here.
And that's just specifically on the sheet fed inkjet. We actually have quite a bit of exciting large format equipment. I don't want to forget our large format team. They're showcasing some really unique solutions on their flatbed and their roll fed devices. And we have a few more things coming down the line. I think, next year might be a Drupa year. So a few more things coming that we will be very excited to talk about in the coming year.
So I guess that I can look forward to see you at Drupa?
Absolutely, we'll be there.
So that sounds great. Thank you very much, Tonya.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So this is actually wrapping up a very, very great day here at the Canon booth at Printing United in Dallas. My name is Morten Reitzoft and I'm from Inkish TV. We have been talking to a lot of nice people from, especially people working with workflow and with inkjet. Tonya Powers, who's a marketing director of inkjet, I think it's inkjet production, has been hosting this event, and it's been really nice. Now we're going to take a little look around the booth. We can see here that we have screens presenting workflow. On the other side we have some of these really nice large format printed pieces where you showcase basically all the things that you can do with modern print technology. So it's been really exciting to be here. For the show, it's been a busy day. I guess a lot of people have been very, very curious about how this will go. It's the first time we have a Printing United show in here in Dallas. It's been crowded all day. It's been a lot of people. It's been fun. There's a lot of, you know, great smiling people because the industry seems to appreciate this under one roof approach that Mark Supers and Fort Bowers, SGI and NAPCO suggested when they started inventing this new show a year ago. They probably worked on it a little bit longer, but nevertheless. And if you look again, we are still here for the booths here are just like showcasing some of the things that you can do with large format print. If you look at the other side here, you actually see some of the equipment that is used to do this print. There's a Colorado. This is a new printer. We have a lot of different equipment here. We didn't have much time to go and look at the equipment because we were mainly talking to the inkjet people, and well, they didn't have, unfortunately, they didn't have any inkjet presses on the booth, but I think you got a pretty good idea about what they're doing and the offering, so that was pretty okay. And see, I made the program for 7 minutes, which is like, we have a Canon there. Yeah, so I think this pretty much conclude everything from the Canon booth today. We have a lot of other interviews going on that are not live, but we will be back with the winner of the Girlie Award that will be announced 2 p.m. That's about an hour from now. Tomorrow we will be broadcasting from Chili Publish. We look very much forward to see what they have. They have announced new technical solutions in their software that should be good for packaging, which will be exciting to see. And we just hope that you will tune in again tomorrow. And thank you very much for this time. It was great to see you. Not to see you, but to be on live. Yeah, that's. Bye.
We are Inkish.tv. We will cover the show live in our daily lunch break show from 11 to 1 Central Time. Interviews, demos, print sample TV, and more.
My name is Morten Reitzoft and I'm the editor of Inkish. We look forward to see you, and in case we don't see you, just tune in to Inkish TV and see all the good stuff from Printing United.